habit tracking. Does it actually work? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. Today, we're going back to Atomic Habits by James Clear, and we're talking about the fourth section of the book called The Fourth Law, Make It Satisfying. This includes multiple chapters, but each one goes to that fourth step in building a habit. And so just to review for those of you who may be coming in on this, or if you just need a refresher, there's four basic laws, four basic steps that James Clear discusses in creating a habit. The first one is to make it obvious. The second one is to make it attractive. The third one is to make it easy. And here's the fourth one: make it satisfying. I'll tell you, there's a lot of good stuff in here that I highlighted and have gone back to over and over again in this chapter, but I wanted to talk about one main thing that I think was the most important. That main thing is habit tracking. What is habit tracking? Okay, so if you're trying to get a habit going, one of the main things you want to do is start tracking it. This goes back to the concept of the last couple times we were talking about being aware and how awareness really makes habits work. You really have to be aware of what's going on. That, for one thing, it tells you what type of habits to go for, but it also will help you to just automatically, if you're aware of what's going on, you're going to get better in any given area. And the same thing's true of habit tracking. I'm looking for, you can see me, if you're watching, you can see me looking down into the book here. I've got it right here, and I'm looking. I just lost my spot when it comes to habit tracking. This is within the second, let me see here. I believe it's within the second chapter in this section called How to Stick with Good Habits Every Day. Yep, here it is. How to keep your habits on track. This is a big deal. In fact, he goes back to the concept of not breaking the chain, which is, we've discussed it here before when we were talking about the book Consistency Chain for Network Marketing. It's a network marketing specific book, but the concept is true, and no matter what you're doing, even if you're not even doing business, if you understand that habits happen across the board, then you can take this. The idea is, if you can build up a habit, consciously, purposefully build up a good habit, and you do it on a daily basis, let's say. It's an easy way to be able to think about this, as if it's daily. If you're doing something every single day, then the idea is to not break that chain. Is that every day you're able to put another link in the chain, and another link, and another link, and as soon as you miss one, you've broken the chain. You kind of have to start over with that count. Well, and one thing he says here is that it's going to happen. I mean, you're going to break the chain. At some point, you can't get around it. Life will end up getting in the way at some point, and that's no big deal. He says no matter how consistent you are with your habits, it's inevitable that life will interrupt you at some point. Perfection is not possible. Before long, an emergency will pop up. You get sick, or you have to travel for work, or your family needs a little more of your time. When this happens to me, I try to remind myself of a simple rule: never miss twice. See, if you miss twice, now you're building the habit in the opposite direction. But if you can get right back up on the horse and keep going, that's the big thing about tracking. Keeping that. There's a part of tracking that is extremely satisfying. So one of the things that I've done just recently, and one of the habits I'm trying to adapt, I needed it to be an accountability thing. So I have a team of people that I'm accountable with, and those of you watching, you know who you are. We have a team of people that I'm accountable with, and at the same time, I wanted my family to be on part of it. I took a calendar, just one of these blank calendars that you can print out. You Google blank monthly calendar template or something like that. And you get one that doesn't have, it has the days, and it has 4 weeks worth or whatever on there, but it doesn't have it numbered. So you can make it whatever month of whatever year you want. And so I just put the latest month and I put the numbers up there and number it correctly, and voila, I have a calendar ready to go. And the only point of this calendar is to track on whether I've kept the link going for every day. And I have a black Sharpie. So this calendar is magnetized to my fridge, right? I've got a black Sharpie hanging on it, and I pull it off and I exit out. That is one of the most satisfying things. It's rather than doing the habit itself, I look forward to getting home and putting another X on the thing. I don't know why. It still hasn't lost its effect on me after nearly 2 weeks of being on it, but it's the little things. The little things that are satisfying, if you can make it satisfying, and that's what makes it work in the long run. When he says when successful people fail, they rebound quickly. The breaking of a habit doesn't matter if the reclaiming of it is fast. Charlie Munger said the first rule of compounding: never interrupt it unnecessarily. And habit building is compounding. That's what we're looking at doing here. Let's see. Really great stuff throughout this chapter. There's another point that he makes in here is that it's easier to do one thing at a time. Rather do one thing at a time as perfectly as you can versus trying to adapt a whole lot of habits at the same time. Now, some people, if you're familiar with this process, you may be able to handle adding in a bunch of habits at a time. I have a friend that has a list, a little notebook. And it's all graphed out, and he has like about 5 or 6 habits that he's doing at the same time. Each one's a daily habit, and he makes sure he puts an X for every last one. Now, maybe you can get away with that. With me, I know I've got to start slow, so I've got one habit I'm adding at any given time. Once I feel more secure in that habit, I can, one thing, grow on how large it is that I'm handling every day, but also be able to add another habit. I definitely have some exercise habits and so forth that I want to add on. So it's something we'll be adding to it as we go along. That's really the gist of what I got out of this section. There's a whole bunch of other pieces that we can dig into, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Go and check out this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I don't get any kickback from it. One place I do get a kickback from that I like to mention at least once every time that we get together is my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. This is a way for me to get to know people, and also a way for people to get to know me. If there's ever going to be a relationship, if I'm looking to invest in a company or anything else, I make sure they check out and at least leaf through my book once so that they have an understanding of where I'm coming from. This is as far as from your perspective, this can help you. This book can help you if you are looking to grow your business and stand out in your industry to the point to where you no longer have really any viable competition. If you want to end competition, that's what I call being Amazon proof, because even Amazon.com can't stop you, then you want to go get a copy of this book. You can purchase it wherever books are sold, or you can get a free digital copy over at my website, AmazonProofBook.com. AmazonProofBook.com. That's all I have for tonight. You have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.